Welcome to Sports Hangover. I'm J Dawg. That's Mike. Anything happened in the world this week, buddy?
It's been a weird week. Weird week. Starting off the new year hot. Did you see those memes where it was like a crazy looking clown handing off to another crazy looking clown? Like, here's the layout of what 2021 is going to be.
Yeah, everyone's on New Year's Eve like, oh, so happy it's a new year. We can start fresh. Like, who has resolutions right now? Who has any goals for the year? Who has any trips booked? Like, we still have nothing. It's all 2020. It's just a different year.
It is. Well, we hope it gets better. Like last year, we thought it was going to be our year, and then it just kind of went downhill. It's like we fell off a cliff. Hopefully,
Mike, it was our year in February when we broadcasted live from Tulum. It was our month. We'll just say it was our first 2 months. It just wasn't our 12 months.
It's weird on my phone. You like look at the history of photos. It's like January, February, and then it jumps all the way to like Christmas this year. There's nothing in between.
That everything else is like screenshots of things you saw on TV that you want to buy or something.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
It's sad, but sports are happening. So the NFL playoffs are here. We'll get to sports. So NFL playoffs are here. We're gonna play a game. We always do it. So me and Mike, we draft teams who we think are most likely to win the Super Bowl. We go back and forth in a snake, and there's a big prize. There's been jerseys. There's been trips to LA. There's been tickets to an NFL game.
This year, why don't we do like $50 or something deposited into your Bitcoin account, or $50 Venmo to each other, just so we know we can like prove that we did it this year. Because I think
it has to be for stocks, is what you're saying.
Yes, trade for stocks or Bitcoin.
Because we're only investing. If there's one thing we learned in 2020, it's invest in the future, because the present isn't so good.
And stocks always go up. That's what I've learned.
I learned that too. And literally lately, by the way, they only go up. And Bitcoin is a whole nother level. We actually have a blog on Bitcoin. I'm glad you brought that up. It's on popline.co. It's one of the featured blogs. Great writer named Cody Ryan. He did
great.
Bitcoin 101 explains why is it going up right now and why is it different this time than last time. So check that out. Where do you want to start the show, though?
Do you want to do some bullshit or believe? I have a whole bunch to go through.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's do it. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe. Okay, so I have a ton of bullshit or believe. We can kind of bang through them fast if you want. First one is bullshit or believe. Which one of these landing spots will Carson Wentz land? That's my bullshit or believe. And I have some odds here. I thought Carson Wentz, season's over for him. They obviously threw that last game to let Washington into the playoffs. That everybody.
It was crazy how many people cared about that, Mike, because the Giants didn't get in the playoffs. They were 6-10. You didn't deserve to get in the playoffs. Like, that's like, why do we care?
Neither did Washington, but it's just like you hear like, Jalen Hurts on the sideline. Like, I can't believe we're doing this. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, who cares? Like, go win the game. I mean, if you really could, try to win it. But they did put in that like other guy, whatever that other backup was.
He was terrible. They tried to lose, but the Eagles went from a 9th draft pick to the 6th draft pick by losing. That's significant. If they're going to get a quarterback to replace Carson Wentz or a receiver to help Jalen Hurts, that's a significant jump. Okay, so Carson Wentz landing spots. This is the least likely, the Colts. Bullshit or believe on the Colts. Well, I had that as my sports dramas predictions. You might forget that last week. Their head coach came from the Eagles as their offensive coordinator, and Carson Wentz won the Super Bowl. Believe it, it's going to happen.
Bears at plus 200.
So this is weird. The Bears made the playoffs, which is really something because what do you call Mitchell Trubisky?
He's a piece of shit covered in garbage, something like that.
And a dumpster fire, something like that. But he's also a starting quarterback in the playoffs, which is more than Andy Dalton can say, and people like that throughout history. So it's kind of crazy. I think they stick with Trubisky, even though they're going to get blown out by the Saints this week.
What about the Patriots at plus 500? Bullshit or believe Carson Wentz will be a Patriot next season?
I think they make a trade up for a rookie or Andrew Luck joins them. So I'll say bullshit on that.
What about the Broncos? Bullshit or believe Carson Wentz?
The Broncos are interesting. John Elway has done a shitty job as a GM of the Broncos, and so he stepped aside. He said, I will do less work and make the same amount of money, and he is going to hire a GM underneath him.
And what do you think about that move? Because I thought, in a way, is he self-aware that he's actually terrible and has not done anything for this franchise? But it's also like a weird stat that the Broncos won a Super Bowl and haven't made the playoffs the last whatever years. It's like some new franchise record that they haven't been back to the playoffs since winning a Super Bowl. I saw some
that was I was in California for that game. You had a Super Bowl party. I stayed at the Magic Castle that night, all the way back to Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood, California. The night that Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl for the Broncos. Let's see. I don't think Carson Wentz ends up there. I think they'll finally bring in someone to face off against Drew Lock, which is very necessary.
Face off, yeah. I don't think it's a big face off.
It's not a face off.
Here's another bullshit or believe. The Texans QB, Deshaun Watson, rumors that he might get traded. Is this bullshit or do we believe it, Jeremy?
I believe it. This is great. They have no draft picks. The Dolphins have their first and second round picks. So their best pick in the draft as they look to quote unquote rebuild with a new GM and new head coaches in the third round. They need the picks. Why are you going to have Deshaun Watson there, keep paying him, but not have a good team around him? Because the best they can ever do is play in that Saturday afternoon playoff game and get blown out. So I don't trust what the Texans are doing. Plus, Deshaun Watson is saying, you're not consulting me. I told you to go out and get Eric Bieniemy, who is Patrick Mahomes' offensive coordinator. The Texans said, no, thanks. We're not even going to interview him. Like, the least they could have done is done a Zoom interview. Like, I've done so many Zoom interviews over the last 9 months. I didn't even want to do them, but we're all sitting at home. There's nothing to do. Just talk to the guy. Just act like you're enabling Deshaun Watson. Even if you don't really want to, they couldn't even do that. I think there's a decent chance, better than 50%, that Watson does get traded.
Can I tell you, I've learned that if you do not like guide the Zoom call the way you want it to go, you will literally end up just like talking in circles for an hour. If you're done with the call, just be like, that was great. I'll email you later. Any recap notes, anything like that. You just got to end it because it is awkward ending a conversation online because you're just there. And then especially on Zoom, really hard because you have to like leave and then double leave. And there's that awkward silence. That's what I've learned doing a lot of Zoom calls. This kind of goes along. Do you have something on that?
Yeah, I was just going to say our work from home hacks, like add it to the list. That'd be great. Can we talk about where Deshaun Watson's going to go if he does get traded?
Well, I had another thing that kind of relates to Deshaun a little bit, but it was with Tua, and it said Tua was the 5th pick overall this year. This is from RJ Bell. Love RJ Bell. Great gambler. Listen to his podcast.
Although I just want to correct you for 1 second. RJ Bell steered us so wrongly on election night, November 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Remember RJ was feeding the beast with all the tweets about Trump's at 75%, Trump's 85%. And like the country went to bed thinking the betting markets knew more than everyone else. And it was actually the opposite where the betting markets didn't know. Yes. But RJ Bell was leading that charge. I just want to say.
And our drunk mutual friend was very upset. He's like, I'm doubling down. I'm going to go get some Biden.
It worked out for him.
Yeah, it did work out. So RJ Bell tweeted, he said, Tua was the 5th overall pick. If traded, how much value would he get in the return? And I kind of do the same with Deshaun. What would you get in return for Deshaun and also Tua at this time?
Listen, if you're ranking assets in the NFL to trade, I think it's Patrick Mahomes 1, Deshaun Watson 2. Ooh. I don't think there's anyone else other than Mahomes who's more valuable or how much you'd have to give up than Watson. So it'd have to be a lot. Like the Dolphins, they have the 3rd pick and they have Tua. So hypothetically, you could give them both, right? Give them Tua and give them the 3rd pick to take an offensive lineman, and then you instantly have both. That's still not enough, and that's why it's going to be really hard to pull off the trade.
So with Deshaun, I don't think there's never been these like blockbuster trades, like barely ever. Usually, like Tom Brady gets the pick where he wants to go. Peyton Manning gets the pick where he wants to go. Let me fly in and check out
draft picks, though, Mike, is what I would say. Oftentimes, there's like, remember the Jets traded up to get the Sam Darnold selection. So oftentimes, there's like a 1 or 2 first or second round pick that get traded for a lot, but rarely a player like you.
Yeah, but I guess like somebody in his prime like Deshaun, like I couldn't think of a place that could give up enough for him. Like let's say Tom Brady retires next year after winning a Super Bowl this year or something like that, right? Wouldn't you want Deshaun to come right in and just replace him? What could you give up? I don't think you have enough assets to give up for somebody at that high caliber. Like he was probably one of the best quarterbacks this year with trading away their best wide receiver. And that was what's crazy to me. Like he still was good, but the team sucked. And JJ Watt.
We always forget about JJ Watt. I think you need to be a team that's kind of ready to win because you're going to have to give up so many draft picks for him that you're not going to have any other help for him. So if you're like a mediocre team like the Broncos, for example, there's no point in giving up all these draft picks for Deshaun Watson because there's going to be no talent around him. They're all going to be gone in Houston. And you're not going to have any picks for years. So I think you have to be an established team. I don't think the Patriots are that. Maybe they were a year ago when they had Brady, but they lost a lot and they looked bad a lot of the year. I would love the Dolphins to do it, like the 3rd pick and then a 2nd round pick and then a 1st round pick next year and then Tua. I don't think it's really going to happen, but it's exciting to think.
That'd be exciting. All right, I have 2 others. This is a weird one. NHL sold the naming rights to their new division. Bullshit or believe, is this a good move for the NHL? Let me read the division names for you. They'll play, it's like the Honda NHL West Division, the Discover NHL Central Division, the Mass Mutual NHL East Division. Is this a good move for what they did? Because I think it's insane.
I believe it's fine. I think it's fine to make money any way you can. All these sports leagues, say what you want, they lost a lot of money this year. The NBA did, the NHL did, even the NFL and their rich ass owners did. So I think to recoup a little money is okay. Now, you as a hockey fan, you're not going to call the Lightning's division the Mass Mutual South Division. Like, you're not going to say that. So I don't know what value it gives to these brands. Maybe it'll be in like press releases and online when you go look at the standings. But other than that, no one's going to verbally say it, right?
I just thought it was really weird because I've never seen somebody, like a few years ago, NBA released where you can like advertise just on like the chest of the players. And that was like, oh, okay, like, not too bad. It's not invasive. It's not like, soccer jerseys where it's literally like the name of the company on the middle of the jersey. But this is an interesting move. I don't really understand it, but good for them.
Good for them, I think.
Yeah, good for them. This is another one. Bullshit or believe, are the Chargers going to hire the Clapper?
The Clapper is getting head coaching interviews. He got one with the Chargers. He got one with the Jags. And why? It's like, oh, he had such a great year since he left the Cowboys. He was the Giants offensive coordinator. They were incompetent for most of the year, Mike. I don't know how the Clapper is getting any interviews at all.
Yeah, the entire year he was incompetent, but he's going to the Chargers. And I think the Chargers organization just likes somebody that's mediocre or less than mediocre. That's what they like to do because they're not a good organization.
Disturbing for Justin Herbert. We all hope Herbert ends up with a better coach than Jason Garrett.
That's all I got for bullshit or believe.
I've got a game to play. Can you give me a little jazz music, Mike?
A little jazz music.
Just subtle. Bring it down a little. Bring it down. We're talking quarterbacks, and we just lost Matt Schaub to retirement. Matt Schaub, very well, former Texans quarterback. Yes. And he hasn't played in a while, but he played for a long time. So I looked up how much money he made, and I want to play a little game with you. How much did they make as this jazz music continues underneath? And I want to start with Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub, how much money do you think he's made throughout his NFL career?
I want to say like 60 million.
And 60 million would be a lot for him not playing the last 5 years or so, right?
Yeah, but I always think like once you get into like a contract, it's like, I'll give you 10 here and then you get traded away, get another 15 over here, and you're just kind of like hanging out.
He's been Matt Ryan's backup for a while. 94 million he's made on the field for an average, Mike, of 28,000 per pass attempt in his career. That's pretty good. 28,000 every time he threw a pass in a game. I have more for you.
Made a lot.
I have more for you. This is topical. We're going to do our playoff picks pretty soon. Washington somehow made it. I don't think we'll be taking them anytime soon. But Alex Smith is in the playoffs. Great comeback story. Amazing. How much money do you think he's made throughout his career?
I think he's made a lot. His team went to a Super Bowl. Right when he's on the 49ers. I'm going to say like Alex Smith probably made like $150 million.
And that would be amazing, right? Because that's a lot of money and he hasn't played particularly great and everything. $189 million for Alex Smith. So much money.
A lot of money. It is weird with the contracts because they like compound or you get traded and you get even more. You get bonuses. A lot of money in the NFL.
But just think about like a star in a movie who might make like 15 million for a movie, who like say Tom Cruise makes 15 million for a movie. That's a lot of money. Yeah. Alex Smith has made so many more times than that throughout his career. 189 million. And it's Alex Smith. He's not even a top 20 quarterback. I have more. Okay. Chase Daniel is the Lions backup quarterback. Okay. We never talk about him. He never plays. He's thrown 261 passes in his NFL career and he's old. Mike, how much money has Chase Daniel made in the NFL?
Wait, how old is he?
I'm going to say he's old, and I'm going to say he never plays because he's only thrown 260 passes in his career. Always a backup.
I'm going to say $30 million.
You're really close. That's your closest yet. $38 million for an average, Mike. Every pass he's thrown, he makes $144,000.
Now, if you were going into the NFL today and I said you could be the greatest backup who never plays, maybe you'll play like 10 snaps your whole career, but you're going to make $50 million. Would you be okay with that? If you went into the NFL today, like tomorrow you're getting drafted, you're never going to be a star. You're going to be that guy that's like, I remember that bald guy in the Detroit Lions. Like he was there for like 20 years.
I just realized I'm the bald guy.
He made $50 million. Would you be
I'm okay with that. Yeah, especially they say being a backup quarterback is the best job in sports, and Chase Daniel is the reason why. $38 million for 260 pass attempts in his career. Right. Pat Mahomes throws for that many passes in 5 games.
Now, obviously, you make a lot more money when you're Patrick Mahomes, but being $30 million, $38 million, Not a bad life.
It's pretty good. I have one more for you, and this is important because he's a father to a lot of kids, and he's got to pay a lot of meals for these kids. It's not Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, by the way, I saw at a Chick-fil-A in Manhattan with his 8 kids one time. So it's not Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
This is Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, how much money do you think he's made throughout his career?
He's been here a while. He's been with the Chargers.
He's never been the best. He's rarely been in a big playoff moment or anything like that.
He was like worse than Eli, even though Eli kind of fell off at the end. He's been around for a long time. Let's say he made 20. I'm going to say like $250 million.
You're getting really good at this.
Wow.
$243 million. You're $7 million off. That was great. But that just blew my mind, though. Like when you think about, again, all the famous people in the world, all the Bezoses and everyone out there, that a guy like Phillip Rivers can take home $250 million in his career. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at him like, all right, if he was in the league for what, let's say 12 years, and he's getting paid $10 million, but maybe it's really $20 million. It's like, that's a lot. It adds up, and it's insane that they're getting paid this much money. It's insane.
And we know NBA contracts are bigger. I get it. The max contract in the NBA can be $200 million, and that's just on one contract. But those guys are on the court the entire time, playing games every single night. These football players play 16 games a year if they're healthy. God knows Phillip Rivers has missed a lot of games throughout the time, but he still gets paid. It's just a shocking stat. Thank you, Matt Schaub, for retiring and opening the door for that little game.
And a new backup on its way in to make that $30 million. So good.
So the Falcons, Falcons, by the way, pick 4th overall in the draft. I want them to take a quarterback and move on from Matt Ryan. We'll call that bullshit. I don't think the Falcons have it in them to do that.
I don't think so either. All right, I got one BDE, and then we can do our playoff pool.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Here it is.
Energy winner of the week.
All right, this one, I think you know this one already, but Russell Wilson called the last-minute pass to David Moore to have David Moore make a $100,000 bonus, and they were about to do a kneel down, and he audibled at the line. And my boy Russell went out there and be like, David, we're going to get you some goddamn money right now. And it wasn't even like a deep pass. It was like literally just a pitch, and he got $100,000. Big DE going to Russell Wilson right there.
Russell Wilson is the king of being just a nice overall guy. He has this crystal clear image. He helps his teammates. He's well-spoken. He does charity. He does it all. It was great. He got him $100,000, which if he wants to throw me a pass for $100,000, I'll catch it.
Yeah, go catch it. Go get some money. All right, let's do.
Hang on, I have a big dick energy too, Mike, and this is a little bit controversial. So some people know I have controversial takes on certain things, and that's just who I am. That makes me the content creator that I am, right?
Well, you lost the Sportstradamus title, so yes, you are now the content creator.
You didn't give it up in that show last week. By the way, we did a show last week, all of our sports predictions for the year, Sportstradamus, but most importantly, we recapped some of Mike's predictions from last week. I really encourage you to listen to it. I won't give it all away, but he nailed several parts of COVID without even knowing COVID was a thing. So props. And also, potential new Sportstradamus.
I also think I predicted something that might be happening right now, but I forgot what it was. It was somewhere in the thread. Somebody put something, and I'm like, oh, we predicted that last week. Somebody going somewhere, and I didn't know who that was. It was some prediction that I had.
Well,
I'm gonna have to look. I had so many predictions I can't remember. I got to.
Anyway, my big dick energy, and this is controversial, so apologize if you're not into it. American Airlines is my big dick energy for banning emotional support dogs on planes. I think this is the good move. Listen, I love dogs, I really do, but the idea that you can walk onto a plane with a dog of any size and have it plop down, possibly on top of someone who doesn't want a dog there, possibly to someone who's allergic, possibly to a kid who's scared of big dogs like I was 30 years ago. Mike, there are so many reasons why this is a great move for American Airlines. Listen, if you need a service dog, if that's what's going on, you deserve it. That's ADA compliant. You have it. Emotional support, quote unquote, and they're bringing all kinds of damn animals, including dogs. Props to American Airlines for getting rid of it.
It's a good move. It did get a little out of hand there. I feel like everybody found a loophole. It's like, oh, I can just buy this vest on Amazon and I can just bring my dog anywhere I want now because he's my emotional support dog. So congratulations. It's a good move. It's better for everybody that people aren't sneaking around in line, that they actually need these dogs on the planes with them.
The better move is leave your dogs at home with strangers with a bag of dope dog and just let them get high all weekend.
Yeah, just get a nice dog sitter. There's so many great dog sitters that just love to hang out with your dogs. Really easy. And honestly, flying with your dog does not sound fun to me at all.
No, you would never.
Never. All right, let's get into our playoff pool, whatever we want to call it. Who won last year? I kept thinking I did, but then I'm like, I think you might have picked Kansas City, or did
I would take the Chiefs, so I won. So are you going to Venmo me $50 now just to cover last year first?
No. Did you win, or did we swap? Was that the year we swapped?
That was a year before, right? That was a year before because we had a Patriots-Chiefs swap. I think I left the Chiefs, and then the Patriots. Something happened with the Patriots, but I got off the Patriots and accepted the Chiefs. That's what it was. Last year, the Patriots lost in the first round, so they weren't involved.
But it was a weird year because we never swapped, and then the one year we swapped, and you're like, of course I'll take Kansas City, and they lost.
Yeah, of course. So since I won, should we let you go first because you have some catching up to do?
I guess so. I think that's just fair. It's not make it take it here. It's make it and give it to the loser.
It's full court.
Okay, so we got all the teams lined up here. The smart part of me wants to say you take Kansas City because they don't have to play this week, so higher odds that they're in the Super Bowl.
That's a good point. And I like it, but I would persuade you not to take the Chiefs.
So, Jeremy, I'm sticking to my guns here because I mentioned this at the season start. I said my Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl, and I'm sticking to my guns. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills off the board. Buffalo Bills are my pick.
That's fantastic, Mike. I love you. That's a bold pick, and it's sticking with what you said in the beginning of the year, and that's important. I don't think I had a prediction at the beginning of the year, so I don't have to stick to the same guns. But of course, you threw me off as you've been doing for 10 years, and I'm not sure which direction to go here.
Okay.
I think out of principle, yeah, I do feel this way. I really do feel this way. Okay. And I know what I'm doing when I do this, but I'm going to take the Packers. I think the Packers are the best team, the best team in the playoffs with the quarterback playing the best, including against the Chiefs. So I'm going to take the Packers.
Okay, interesting. Well, the next team that I think might be in the Super Bowl joining my Buffalo Bills, and I put a bet on this, is my Seattle Seahawks.
Wow. He's wearing the shirt and everything. He loves Seattle. He loves $3 bets on Seattle. Mike, what's the reasoning? You think Russ can cook in the playoffs?
I think Russ can cook. Listen, Russ has an easy path there. He's going to play an injured Jared Goff, which is pretty bad, or he's going to play a backup who's a little scraggly with I don't know his name on the Rams, but whoever that guy was that played last week. Yeah. I think this is an easy road. If they can beat the Rams, they'll be confident. They'll be ready to go. And I don't know who they have to play the week after that, but if it's the Bears maybe, or maybe the Saints or whoever, the Green Bay Packers, I think Seattle can do it.
It's an interesting matchup with the Rams. They played twice already. They're always close games. It's not the best matchup for Seattle. I hope you survive out of that one. Well, I'm going straight to the Chiefs. I don't need to deliberate on this one. I love Mahomes. To get him in the second round like I just did is stealing money from you. I apologize. It'll probably be a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl, and therefore you'll be pissed because you don't have a representative.
I know. I really went weak here. I didn't even stick with any. You took the two teams that already clinched, so my likelihood of winning now are very, very slim. I'm gonna go with God. What do I do here?
Go with it. Go with it.
I
know what you're thinking.
I'm gonna go with this team here. This team I feel like is a little bit of a sleeper. Maybe people don't believe in it. Your former quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I am taking the Tennessee Titans here. I feel
wow, you are so big on the Titans, who barely beat Deshaun Watson's broken Texans team to get into the playoffs.
So this is my reasoning. Not a lot of belief in them. The Baltimore Ravens are favored right now against Tennessee Titans. I understand that Baltimore is a little more frisky. They can do more on offense. But I got to believe in my boy Henry. If you can't stop Henry, he's a goddamn truck. A giant truck that you can't stop. I think it's them if they can control the offense. I think the Titans are hard to beat, and they have a decent defense. So I'm going
You win in January with the run game and defense. They have both of those things. I don't hate the pick. It might be a little early on the night to be taking the Titans.
All right, who are you going with?
Also, I've seen a lot of Tannehill games in my life. I'm not worried about him in the playoffs. Just saying.
Okay.
Not worried.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to go with a team that I really think has a chance to go to the Super Bowl also. It's the Saints. The Saints are rolling. They got embarrassed by the Chiefs. But other than that, since Drew Brees has been back, they're scoring points. They're looking good. It's a swan song. He's going to NBC next year. What a great thing it would be if he could get to the Super Bowl and win.
Okay, I like that. I like that pick. Very, very strong NFC teams here. I don't think I have many left, so I'm just going to kind of hedge my bets over here in the AFC. I'm going to go with the team that I think could really have a nice bounce back. Maybe make the Super Bowl here. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Oh, can I delete off of this app we're recording on?
I don't love it, but I just feel like they're the next team up in the AFC that could do it. Out of all the AFC teams, I feel like I have the 3, like, who knows, wild cards. Like, they could maybe beat the Chiefs. Who knows? You
do. You have the Bills, Steelers, and Titans now. So it's like everyone in the AFC except the Chiefs. So you have that going for you if Mahomes doesn't make it.
Hedge my bets.
The Steelers have been looking really bad. They're losing all their games. They lost to the Browns the other day. They're playing the Browns again. Now the Browns, we'll get to that, but they have no healthy players. There's a lot of COVID going on in Cleveland.
A lot of COVID. I do have some best bets too, if you want to go over those after.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming after this. I'm going to go with a team you think will lose this weekend. At least I think that's what you think. The Ravens. I think the Ravens are playing their best football ever since Lamar Jackson had the poops. He has been playing the best football of his year. Before that, he wasn't doing much ever since Superman. It might be a different person. Have we done a DNA check?
Is it weird that we're going into AFC so heavy? Because it seems like we're not confident in many of the teams in the NFC.
In the NFC. Well, you took the Seahawks. I got the Packers and Saints. Who else is there in the NFC? I mean, we took Russell, Rodgers, and Breeze. The rest of the quarterbacks aren't as impressive.
I mean, I guess I'm going to have to take them, but I don't 100% believe in old man Tom Brady. But if this is going to be his year, I'm going to ride with him because there's no one else on the board here that I really believe in. So I'm going with the Bucs.
I thought you would have taken the Bucs sooner. We have a lot of friends that are Bucs fans that listen to the show. You grew up in Tampa, and yet you took Ryan Tannehill and Ben Roethlisberger before Tom Brady and the Bucs.
I all these stats on like men over 42 or whatever. Like, I don't know if he can do it, but he's got a lot of skill around him. Antonio Brown, everything. Hey, I got to take a long shot here. You got the stacked team right now.
I'm saying there's a chance. I think Bucs and Seahawks definitely have a chance in the NFC. I'm going to go with a guy who's made $250 million in his career, Phillip Rivers. The Colts, I don't know that they're a special team, but I like what they're doing on the ground with Jonathan Taylor. I like what they're doing with defense, similar to the Titans. It's ground game and defense this time of year. If Rivers can get out of the way, I think it'd be really funny. Plays his whole career with the Chargers, but he has his best season ever with a different team.
I do not believe in this team whatsoever. Things have been going a little bit better over in Chicago, but I think I'm going to take the Bears here, beat the Saints. I don't think the Rams are going to win or Washington's going to win. So I'm going to go with the Bears because they have a little wild chance of beating the Saints. And I think this could be a solid move on my part. I might bet them this weekend too.
You're thinking about the Bears. We're going to get to your picks here for the weekend. You're taking Trubisky. We just played Bullshit or Believe who the next quarterback in Chicago is.
Yep.
But you're taking Trubisky this week. Fascinating stuff.
Listen, he's got to fight for his job.
I don't believe in this team at all, but I have a Sports Hangover sweater with their logo on it. It's the Rams. Their uniforms are better than their quarterback play.
Yes.
We don't even know who's going to play quarterback this week. I don't think they beat the Seahawks. I do believe in Sean McVay. I'll take the Rams here.
Well, coming down to the last two, I'm just going to take the Washington football team here. I actually think they have a really good shot at beating the Bucs this weekend. So good hedge on my bet here. I'll take them. And I guess that leaves you with the good old Browns.
Yeah, I'll take the COVID-ridden Browns. It's a real shame. You think about it. The Browns waited 17 years to get to the playoffs. They made it. And now their head coach can't coach the game because he has COVID.
So bad. So, okay. Good. I'll put this in the description of who we have so people can.
So this is a $50 for investment of stocks or Bitcoin because both of them only go up.
Yes, and not $50, not 50 Bitcoins, $50.
50 Bitcoins at $37,000 per Bitcoin, Mike. This is a $150,000 bet.
$50 you will be getting. So this weekend I have a lot of bets. A lot of like random bets, not my normal bets that I usually do. I have them all laid out. Let me see.
There's only 6 games. Are you betting each game?
I'm not betting each game. I'm doing like for instance, I'm going to take Seattle -3.5 with a parlay with the under in the game because these teams always play each other hard. Defense always plays hard. That's where I'm going there. Obviously, with a lot of my picks here, you kind of see where I'm going with this week. But I like that. Let me see what else I have. There was a lot of okay. So this is a great one if you want to parlay the to get a little extra money here. Bills Steelers parlay, straight up money line bet. I like that bet. 250 pays 200. If you want,
which side are you betting on?
I'm taking both sides. I'm taking Steelers and Bills.
Steelers and Bills. Okay, so Steelers and Bills, both money lines.
Both money line parlay. If you want
you
a little,
have the Steelers and Bills. I feel like your picks are mirroring your selections. You just drafted
they
a
are.
little
And
bit.
then if you want a little money line bet, it never hurts to throw a little dollar on here. But it's 3-1. 50 wins you 150. Put that money on the Washington football team. Very, very slight chance that they win, but their defense is solid. Alex Smith is back. This could be a great story. His comeback story, Jeremy, beating old man Tom Brady. I think that this could happen. Big payday. You just got to throw a little money in. That's it.
I don't think it has to be a little money. It can be a lot of money. I'm not impressed with Tampa. I've said it throughout the year. Their defense doesn't impress me. Their run game doesn't impress me. Brady's arm strength on deep balls doesn't impress me. They've been looking better offensively lately. I think it was week 17, the last week of the year. Didn't the Falcons score a bunch of points on Tampa, or Detroit did? Someone did. Like, they're giving up a lot of points each week.
Yeah.
I don't hate the Washington money line at all. I don't think they're going to win, but their defense is good enough to win.
Well, if you're liking the Washington one, you'll love this. Washington plus 8.5 parlayed with the under, low scoring game. 50 wins you $128. I love this one. A lot of you can't do the same kind of bets because you're trying to really cash in on these weaker teams, and these are the best odds you're going to get all season in the playoffs. So you want to go hard. Here's another one. Last one. Money line bets. These are all the teams that are going to win this weekend. Buffalo Bills, Seattle, and Steelers. Best bet of the weekend. $100 wins you $200. Get it in. That's an easy one, right?
It seems like an easy one. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams win. Russ isn't cooking, man. He's not cooking lately. He's got to cook. I know he cooks in January, so I'm not afraid, but he hasn't been cooking in December.
Let me tell you this. Do you think Jared Goff with a broken thumb is going to cook harder than Russ? Russ has got everything cooking right now.
Who did the Seahawks nearly lose to in week 17? Who was it?
Doesn't matter who they almost lost.
It was a bad team. It was a bad team. I know that.
It was it the Cardinals?
The 49ers. Was it the 49ers?
49ers. Yeah.
49ers. Why are they messing around with the 49ers if they're a playoff team?
Listen, sometimes you don't want to try that hard. You know? That's what the Seahawks do. They like winning by 1 point. That's what they love, the thrill.
I might hit that. I get it. I might hit that parlay, but you gotta sweat it out because the first two games are Saturday afternoon, 10 a.m. then 1 p.m. your time. Then the last game you have the Steelers-Browns Sunday night on Peacock. That's a huge matchup.
Oh, I was gonna say the only game of the weekend, the AFC game, you get the Steelers-Browns on Peacock, right?
Yeah, it's on Peacock. I would watch it there. It sounds like a great.
I would watch it there too. It's great. It's free, by the way. Did you know that?
It is free. The game is not free on Peacock, but Peacock itself.
Oh, the game's not free on Peacock?
Mike, the Browns, Ben Roethlisberger, there's a stat against the Browns, and it's disturbing if you're a Browns fan. He had 24-2-1 against the Browns. That makes no sense. It's like a 91% winning percentage. That's enough to put your life savings on the Steelers money line, especially with COVID ravaging the Browns. They just had it. We're recording on Friday afternoon. They just had their first practice of the week just now.
The Browns,
because of COVID.
I would put my entire Bitcoin empire on the Bills and Steelers this weekend. That's what I would do, because
I don't think the Colts, you can write them off. I think Josh Allen's cruising. The Bills have a long history of being losers.
No, they're fine. I feel like the matchups don't make sense. Like Josh Allen versus Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is an old man. I don't think these old men can do it in the cold, and they're going to be outside. Phillip Rivers, what do we, the dome? The dome is an issue when you're inside and then all of a sudden you're going to go to Buffalo. It's too cold.
Yeah. I mean, he's old. We know he's made a lot of money and he's old. So I think Josh Allen's exciting. They can get the monkey off their back, win the first game against the Colts. Then they'll probably play the Steelers. I would definitely take them against the Steelers.
Okay. Well, we got all our bets. We'll put it in the description. I have one more headline that was kind of random. Do you remember Master P?
Yes.
Master P. Make him say, Yeah.
Childhood.
He is bidding on Reebok. He's trying to buy Reebok. I think Adidas owns Reebok right now for $2.4 billion. My question, when did Master P come along $2.4 billion to buy Reebok?
We should play the same game we play with quarterbacks with old man rappers. That's what we should do, because that is a lot of money for him. I saw him on CNBC, Mike, and I'm watching all day, and he did an interview talking about his price for Reebok, and if it works for him. He was kind of negotiating like with the host on CNBC, so that was interesting. It's shocking he has that much.
It's a smart play, but you have to have a lot of money to roll it. And they're trying to make Allen Iverson's shoes like the Jordan of Reeboks, which I think they could, but I feel like Nike puts out shoes every single day, like 2 or 3 pairs of brand new shoes. It's insane. I don't know if Reebok can keep up.
You're a big Nike guy. You shit on Under Armour. You're not buying Reebok either, right?
I'd buy Reebok if Master P took it over.
You would?
Oh yeah. I'd buy
so
some
Master
Reebok.
P is enough to. Well, that's interesting. Maybe they just made him the face. Maybe they made Master P the face. So people like you will buy Reebok.
I don't like Under Armour at all. Under Armour shoes are terrible. They're like going under a little bit. Like they're a brand that tried really hard, but never really got the style. They got that like sport wicking moisture stuff right, but they didn't do the rest right. So
I've told you before, they make great golf clothes and golf shoes.
Oh, I got brand new Jordan golf shoes. Great shoes.
They look sick. I saw them. Maybe you can show the people on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll show them on Instagram. I got to go wear them. I was going to go to the driving range this weekend, just put them on a little, like warm them up. Yeah. God, they're great.
Golf and tennis. Listen, 2021 might be a lot like 2020. So golf and tennis are 2 activities you can do.
That's true, because you can do them by yourself on a field outside. So
that's
good.
Distance.
All right. Check out the sportshangover.com. Blogs up on the Sports Hangover and also on popline.co. Check it all out. Everything will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at the Sports Hangover Podcast. And if we want to rest some Melissa reviews, hopefully we are back next week.